relationship and success. And I'm your host, Elton, licensed marriage and family therapist and sexology expert. This show is live by Jess TV. And today we have a special guest, Shawn McIntyre. He is a best-selling author, fitness model, and founder of Level 10 Training. Welcome, Shawn.
Oh my gosh, Anna, thank you for having me on Life, Love, etc. It's my honor to be here. Thank you.
Well, I want to hear your story. Like, how did you come to be the entrepreneur, best-selling author, and fitness model? Start whatever you
want. Wow, that's an open slate. Okay, well, you know, everything that I write about, speak about, is all about my life success, life experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, I guess you could say. And in my case, turning all of it into something that's beautiful. So yeah, just using all of my life experience in relationships, health challenges, that's exactly how I've done all of my learning, is just life experience.
I love that. So what is Level 10 training?
So Level 10 training is, for me, it holds several different meanings. Number one is, when we look at the outside world, very often the number 10 is something that people aspire to mentally. It resonates on a certain level. And it was also something for me that encompassed something that was whole. And for me, it was like, how does one individual merge with their whole potential? And to me, that's what a level 10 is. It's not just about external appearances, but it's about our transformation on being to express everything we are. And to me, that's what a 10 is. It's not just physical appearances, but it's a certain level of energy and knowing ourselves.
I love that. So it's 10 out of
10. Absolutely.
So how can you, let's say someone wants to start somewhere. They want to be 10 out of 10, but they're, let's say, 5 out of 10. How did they get to the next level? How they can get to like 6 out of 10, or at least 5.5 out of 10?
Well, I think you're saying it exactly right. Is we start where we are. That's the best place, is we start where we are. We can look outside and we can look at what it is that we might want to aspire to, but starting where you are, that's where, for me, what am I facing financially? What am I facing in my energy? Where am I currently? And to me, that's the starting point, is honestly and authentically looking in the mirror. Where are you? And to me, that was where it all started. When things were breaking down, the challenges that I was facing, it was, okay, don't just glaze over them. The challenges for me were actually my greatest opportunities. And so I used everything going on in my life as the exact opportunity to get real with myself.
I love that. So what I'm hearing from you, you're assessing your situation first, right? You're being real with yourself. And then you set the goals. And then it's never linear, right? It's never straight to success. You need to overcome challenges. And then with every obstacle, with every challenge, you become a better version of yourself, because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, right? Every single time.
Well, I wish that were the case, or I wish it were that easy. In my case, it wasn't. But what you said was exactly right. Those challenges really showed me that to become a better version of myself, there were many instances I had to actually fall down. I had to actually embrace what those challenges were. And so mentally and emotionally, I actually thought I was going backwards. I actually thought I was becoming a less version of myself. And I started to see that provided many opportunities for me to let go and redefine what success was. And so this comes back to my original analogy of what a 10 is. I found that I was setting goals externally based on what everybody else thought was success. Mm-hmm. And so I say three things. I say, life has a purpose. We have a purpose, meaning as we step up, as we show up fully and turn all of the resources into results, we actually begin to reveal that there's something planted in us. And I call that the third purpose, that there's a purpose planted in us, a seed of genius, greatness. And that's where I began to redefine my individual success and then point my goals towards that versus just pointing it outside where I found I was before, trying to just keep up or copy or mimic what I was hearing or seeing externally.
So let me ask you, what is success? How would you define success? How would someone feel successful? What do they need to have?
Well, I think when your vision matches your values, your true values, I think there's an energy, there's an authenticity, there's a transparency that will naturally lead us to transform every situation that we're in. And we actually begin to become more peaceful, more powerful in that process.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So when you think of success, is there like one first step that you need to have to follow that path to success? Like, what do you think? Like, when you were thinking of like being an author, being a fitness model, entrepreneur, like what was the first thing? What was your first goal? What was your first idea? I just want to hear your story. So when you think of this younger Shawn, was he thinking that he will be here right now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I and that's a part of my journey, was in becoming authentic to what was inside of me. Yeah, I had this younger version of me, and I didn't have a lot of confidence. I had a lot of struggles. I didn't maybe have the best external modeling done for me. Not that it was wrong. It's just, it was what it was for me. And so for me, how it all started was in taking that first step into authenticity. I started with my body, and I learned, I started from all of the challenges. And that was a great place to start. It was a great place to start because I had to get real with myself. And so I realized that in my body, that's where I thought, that's where my emotions were. That's the level of energy that I had. And to me, those are the components when we talk about health. Health was the first step for me. And it was everything had led me up until 38 years old, where I was going through my second divorce. And I was in the hospital. It was like everything had stopped working. Yes, I had some, ups and downs and challenges, just like every young little boy. But at 38, I got to this real turning point. I thought I had life figured out when I made some money at 25 years old in business, but then I lost it. I thought I would outrun my childhood of, having a single mom and, an absent dad, when I first got married at 20. And then at 28, my second marriage, I thought, okay, these will be the defining things. I know what I want, but everything that I had a vision for, it always led me down. It vanished. So I began to question, what's wrong with me? Was it my childhood conditioning? Was it was it the modeling that I was having externally? Was it all of those childhood experiences? And so at 38, I was in the hospital, bedridden for 4 weeks, and the doctors didn't know what was the matter with me. basically, I had come to the conclusion that all of my ups and downs, challenges, failures had led me to this point where nothing was working anymore. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything that I was trying for, didn't have money, tried to make money, unhealthy, tried to get fit, and none of it was working at a certain point. I don't know if you deal with a lot of clients as well. If you ever have people who were like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm on my final straw. It's like nothing is working anymore. And that was me. That was me at 38 years old in the hospital. And I had, 2 little daughters. And I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want my life to end like this. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I have to get healthy, number one. And so it became this internal goal. I wanted to become healthy. And I realized without health, you can have any problem. You can have 100 problems, 1,000 problems. But if you don't have your health, all of those external problems, they go away. And it's like, wow, health, that's my problem. And so I got out of the hospital with one goal. And that one goal was to change my health, to be a better father for my daughters. And that's really where, to me, the second life began for me.
So you had that overarching goal to be healthy and to be the better version of yourself for your kids. So what was your first step when you're thinking, okay, I have this big goal, now I need to start somewhere? And usually I think like this is the biggest, most challenging step, right? Where do I start? How big or small that milestone needs to be. So where did you start?
For me, it was a vision. It was just, I didn't know how, but it was, I wanted something better than where I was. And so I merely went to the gym to just start moving, using my physicality just to move. And the amazing thing about the body, from my experience, as you move your body, it begins to reveal the qualities of your thinking. And as you tap into your thinking through your body, through the vessel of your body, it can tap into your emotions. What it showed me, Anna, was it showed me the way that I really felt about myself. It showed me the stories that I had about myself, the perceptions, not only about me, but about life in general. Maybe that it was hard, that I had to work really hard, that, maybe being happy, did I know happiness? So by moving my body just in the gym, it showed me these other qualities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So I love working out. And sometimes even when I don't have energy, I just go for a walk.
That's right.
I see a lot of clients, right? So I have to take a lot of stress, a lot of hurt from other people, right? And then I need to know how to process it in a healthy way, right? And for me to process it, not to keep it inside, right? But actually, don't let it in. I work out. And you know what's the best part about working out? I have the best ideas. Every time I go on a walk, I come back and I say like, I have an idea.
That's
Something,
right.
you get oxytocin from working, right? The happy hormone. And then there's something, you move in the body and then you can get in tune with yourself. You can be mindful. And when I work out, I actually don't listen to music. I don't watch TV. I try to focus on my thoughts. I try to be mindful in the experience. And it's so interesting because I see all these people, they always listen. They try to be as productive as possible, right? You try to fulfill your time. But I allow my mind to be bored. And when it's bored, it actually comes out with new ideas, which is amazing, right? Because with this I guess world of technology, we never allow ourselves to be bored. We always have devices by our side, right? Whenever we look anywhere, we see computers, we have TVs, we have phone, and then we are addicted to that. But then we actually go for a walk, exercise, we're allowed to be with ourselves.
I love that. You use the word bored. For me, it's just allowing space to come in. And to me, space and being very present allows those new ideas to come in. And so I love that you said that, because that's exactly me as well in the gym. It's one of the forms of meditation. It's like a moving meditation. And just through moving of energy physically, it's where I wrote my first book. It's where I go to clear the challenges I have so I can view them from different perspectives. So I started to use the gym, exactly as you're saying, as a form of therapy. It's a place I go in order to work through all of the parts that, maybe energy is just being stuck or stagnant. So I move it. I love that.
So whenever like nothing going your way, right? You need to find one stable thing. That's what I usually tell my clients. Whenever you're going down that spiral, right? You need to stop yourself. You need to get back to the baseline, and you need to find the points of stability. You need to find at least something that's working for you, at least something that you feel confident about, something you feel passionate about. And in your case, it was gym, right? You started with something. So once you found that first step, right, that was the gym. Yes, I'm losing my voice. So how did you get to the next step? So what was like, did you set a goal to be a fitness model? How did you get to, that vision of yourself? I mean, was it even a vision, or it just happened to be that like you met some people and then you wanted to be somewhere else?
1,000%. That's it. I didn't have a vision to become a fitness model or a fitness competitor or anything like that. Like I said, my vision was to just be a better dad. My vision was to just become healthy so I could have some energy to play with them, to be a part of their lives. Once I was in the gym, that phenomenon started happening where I could access different levels of thought on top of the way that I was thinking and feeling about my current reality, where I was. So the next step for me was, there's just naturally a progression that I found in life. And if we're willing to take it, well, I started to eat better. I started to recognize nutrition, right? If I could move my body, it's like first gear in a car. It's great for getting that car going, right? Second gear would be like a meal plan. I started to then look at the things I was putting into my body on the level of food. And I started to clean that up. And I started to see that, oh my gosh, my energy and my thinking, it started to shift. And so being able to fuel myself was the very next thing, was proper fuel, proper energy. And so I really started to tap into energy, and that became my focus. It wasn't even about, looking a certain way, but there was just a level of knowing that if I could change my energy, that, oh my gosh, everything was changing. And so I wanted to just enhance my energy in all the ways I could. So I started moving, started eating food, and that led me to the way that I was thinking, and I began to change that. These were all things that anybody can do. And so I was like, this is what I have control over.
I love that. So fuel, how to find your right fuel.
Absolutely.
So what's good for you?
What's good for me?
Yeah, what's good for you? Like what's like, so I know you need your protein, right? You need your grain. What else do you need? And how do you like calculate what's the good fuel? What's the right fuel for you?
So when I first started, I was probably like most other people. It's like, okay, let's look at the amount of calories, calories I take in versus calories I'm burning. Or maybe the next step was, oh, macros. Okay, I need, maybe a gram of protein for every body weight I have or I want to be. right? And so it's like, okay, if I can get between, 125 to 150 or 60 grams of protein, let's start there. And I started just playing with these numbers. Okay. The thing that I started to realize was those all have merit, they all have value. But the real thing that began to matter to me was that there were certain foods. It's what I call food quality. There were certain foods that worked better for me over others. Even though if I was eating a certain amount of protein, carbs, healthy fats, it became more about the type of fuel. So coming back to how do I fuel myself? Yeah, there's certain foods that fuel me better. My body feels better. Just like if you're around certain people, you might feel better. And so I started to notice that there are these different types of energy when it comes to food and its food quality. And I just started to put it all together in the fact that, oh my gosh, my body likes certain food, Anna. So what do you think that my mind likes certain food or fuel? What do you think that my emotions? So I just, it just started to happen. And I paid attention. That was one of the biggest things is I started to pay attention.
I like that. So being mindful, right, and making mental notes what's working for you. So do you mind sharing some secrets, some foods that work for you so I can take notes here? And I can go food shopping some more.
Well, absolutely. It's a little different for everybody. And that's what, I like to do even with clients, just when it comes to food is, not even making drastic changes, just making small changes. But one of the things that I like to do, instead of taking out, I just like to add things that work. And so some of the things that work is water. For me, I say water is your first step to power because water is like circulation. So it helps the mental process. It helps the emotional process. It helps your physical processing, metabolizing. So to me, I started to see that everything, all hormone production, metabolization, everything started with water. And so that was the first thing that I began to increase. And I started to, even before I took anything out, I just increased my water. I increased fruits and vegetables. I didn't take anything out. And it was like, as I increased water, fruits and vegetables, I started to see that, okay, some of my cravings automatically fell off with these things. So then I could release a lot of the unhealthy things that didn't resonate. And yes, we can all say, eliminate the potato chips, the chocolate bars, all that. Everyone knows that. But if you're craving it, that's very difficult. So I say, add water, add fruits and vegetables, like double it before you ever think of eliminating anything.
Interesting. Okay. So if I like ice cream, I should eat an apple. And if I still want an ice cream, I should eat another apple. And then maybe when I still want ice cream, have another apple, and then I'll be good, right? Because now I'm full of apples.
Well, that's if you believe an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But you might want to be able to, in your case, you want the doctor to come and visit. You want to go see Anna, But, instead of an apple, and then maybe blueberries and raspberries, so mix it up. So variety in fruits and vegetables is a key.
Okay.
That way you're getting, because our brain likes variety.
It's so interesting. So I have this game on anxiety, right? And one of the cards, one of the keys there is saying if you want to be more balanced. And then one of the key is to eat foods of different colors. So
Right.
that's when you think of oranges, right? Red strawberries, I don't know, yellow lemons, I guess. All the different colors. So your diet is more of the rainbow.
Exactly. Exactly. It's actually one of the things I do. It's in a process that I go over that has to do with color therapy. And yeah, it's the colors of the foods that you eat. And as you add it in with the water, and it's like, yes, there's a natural process that happens that it's like it regulates your emotions and your thought process. And so now you're adding all of that color, all of those vitamins to the mix. And now it's like, okay, now you've got some balance, and now you can begin not even to eliminate and quote unquote diet, right? How many people are sick of that word now? Let's go on a diet. But to me, it's about optimizing as you go. So testing, being curious. Yes. And
That's
so,
what
yeah, playing those games, that's amazing.
I guess that's what I'm gonna use with my kids. I'm not on a diet. I'm testing different things.
Yeah, let's test this. Absolutely.
Awesome. So what I was thinking, so I know some people they come with all or nothing mindset. So if they say like, hey, listen, I want this all in a short period of time, or I'm not gonna do anything. How do you overcome that challenge?
Of all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe that I believe in reaching our full potential. I believe in being able to have it all in a way that's in alignment. And so I'm like, absolutely, I totally agree. But it is a journey and it is a process. And to truly have it all, how would you know if you had it all? If you didn't have the right mind and if you didn't have the right emotional balance. So I agree with you. Let's go for it all, but let's make the optimized changes in the faculties that we can actually have it all: body, mind, energy, emotions. Isn't that how you really can determine if you're going to have it all?
I love that. So in therapy, I like to use the miracle question. It's part of the solution focused therapy, right? So if you wake up tomorrow and you have it all, what is the first thing you will notice, right? How do you know that you have it all? What would be different? So I feel like sometimes people want something, but they don't know like how it's gonna look like. They would say like, I want to be successful, but then they don't know exactly how success would look like. They want to be happy, but they don't know like how the happiness would look like, right? They want change, but they don't know like how the change would look like. So what I tell my clients, first pause and think. How would you know that you're successful? How would you know that you're happy? How would you know that your husband changed, right? What would be the first thing that you will notice? And then once you're able to identify that, then you can create milestones. Then you can communicate to your partners or loved ones what you're looking, you're expecting.
That's fantastic. Absolutely. No, I agree. In in setting in setting goals and visions, the one thing that I've in determining how to have it all, we can set goals, and along the way, I say, let's change those goals into preferences because they're going to change along the way. And so it's fine to have a goal and to define what it means. And I love that you said that because it's the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I want a bigger house. Okay, why do you want a bigger house? Well, because it'll give me more space. Okay, what do you want more space for? Well, then I can, have quiet time. Okay, great. What do you want quiet time for? Well, because in quiet time, I can actually like observe myself and see what I really want, for goodness sake, right? It's like, perfect. So then let's go on that quest. What is it that you really want? Who would you be? And, going to the gym and eating food. You're not just going to the gym, eating food, trying to lose 20 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever it is, get ready for the beach. Yes, let's do that. That's a great goal. In understanding that there's a process to figuring out who you really are, what you really want. I
So
agree
one
with
thing that we need to remind our viewers that change doesn't happen overnight, right? It's a process. And one
It
thing
is
that
a process.
I always tell my clients, pause and celebrate small successes. It's super, super important because once we set one goal, we reach the goal, we go for the next one, next one, next one, and then we don't even feel happy, right? We really wanted something and then we reach it and then we don't feel anything. So we really need to pause and say like, who is awesome? I'm awesome. I was able to do it and I can do even more.
Love that. Absolutely. No, you have to, in my experience as well, that was one thing that escaped me, was just whether I was struggling, was like, okay, oh my gosh, always looking out there or always bypassing, never at peace. And the same is true actually on the other side, which is success as well. Whether it's failure or success, that it all comes down to acknowledging every little step. So I totally agree with you. Absolutely.
So another thing I'm thinking, like, how do you become successful, right? You don't compare yourself to other people because it will definitely bring you down. There's always someone who is smarter, better looking, bigger muscles, better diet, right? More successful, happier, right? You need to compete with yourself, right? You need to become a better version of yourself, one step at a time.
Yeah. No, I love that. I do. And, one of the things I started saying recently was not even competing with ourselves, but to cooperate with ourselves, with who we would be on that level of higher energy, higher consciousness. Let's cooperate with ourselves instead of fighting ourselves or resisting ourselves or looking in the mirror. Like, one of the things that I do, and this is such a mental and emotional challenge, is when you feel a trigger emotionally, we want to automatically either change it or we want to bring ourselves out of that situation. But what if you could actually train yourself to find what is working, not just focus on the negative, because we have a predisposition to look for that which is negative so we can protect ourselves. What if even when we have a trigger, that we could use that as a way to look for what is working? Yeah, I know there's a mess in the kitchen. Yeah, I know there's all this stuff going on. I know I could lose 10 more pounds. I know it's not perfect, but what is working? Oh, well, my energy, I feel stronger. Oh my gosh, I'm sleeping better at night. And I think, coming back to everything that we're saying here, Anna, is I don't think we pick up on all of the signals that are actually going on in that process. And if we used every trigger, every negative, when it happens, as a way to look for what is working, no matter how small it is, well, that really develops a whole new level of focus.
So we need to rewire our brains, right? To be more positive, because we all have ants. Ants are automatic negative thoughts. And they are repetitive. They come over and over and over again. And usually the way we think affects the way we feel and affects our actions, right? If we think that like, hey, listen, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, then you don't feel good about yourself and then you stop trying. But then if you say like, hey, listen, I know I had a bad day, but tomorrow will be a better day. I did so much work and tomorrow I can do even more. I feel good about myself. I feel empowered. And you can keep pushing.
I love that. I love that. And what I found to add to that, is when we can shift it and change it, but then look for the proof and the evidence. Look for just a little thing that went right. Oh my gosh, wow. Today wasn't a failure. No, today was good. Today was okay. I had this, this, and this. If you can find something, so maybe even like a journal, and this is, one of the things that, I did for a long time. I forced myself to look for 5 things, because you're exactly right. My mind said, oh, what a day. I'm exhausted. All these things went wrong, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we'll find 5 things that did go right. And it could be as minuscule as, I tidied out my car. Okay, I'm going to write that down. And maybe that's the only one I found. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like 9:30. Maybe I'm going to go unload the dishwasher just so I can like write it down, right? And then you go to bed and you actually have something. No matter how bad your day is, if you survived it and it's like, I'm going to do 5 things, 5 little things. Either find it or do it.
So it's the golden rule. Actually, one negative thought needs to be canceled by 5 positive thoughts, right? So you need 5 actions, 5 successes per day.
Yes. And you know, that's a tremendous place to start. And here's a little secret that I realized. You don't have to, there's an attrition, there's a training, there's an entrainment that goes on if you're willing to do this. And what happens is all of a sudden you begin to shift. And when your energy starts to go higher, here's what I noticed, because you feel good, right? It's like, oh my God, I got 5 things done today. When your energy starts to go higher, automatically what you will notice is the level of your mind meets you there, right? Energy goes down. Well, where do you think your mindset is? Yeah, it goes down. So once you realize energy is this like secret key, because it will hold your mindset on a certain level. Then I went from like 5 things. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to find 10, 20 things. And it was like energy goes up, emotions go up. And all of a sudden now it was like physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm like, whoa, there's something here. So then I started to look for all the ways that energy, I was taking on the quality of energy I wanted. And I started to optimize where my energy was leaking, where I didn't really want to be doing something, right? And I started to like just begin to optimize. And to me, energy was the key.
Interesting. So, but how do you start, right? So what I was thinking, I
Yep.
always tell my clients, start small, start low. I always like to use that
Yes.
example of exercising, right? So for example, you want to get in a better shape and you have the time and will to exercise every single day.
That's right.
So for example, you set a goal of, okay, I can exercise 6 times out of 7. So you exercise on Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, and then Thursday life happened. Something came up, you couldn't exercise. Friday, something came up again, right? Saturday, something came up again. And then Sunday, when you exercise, you're not too motivated, because when you look back, you said, my goal was 6 out of 7 days and I only did 4. So now think of the same scenario, but your goal is 3 times per week. You need to start smaller. So you exercised on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Life happened on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When you start exercising again, you're thinking back at your results and you're thinking, wow, I was planning to do 3 times, I did 4. I'm overachiever. I can do this. So that's when your goal is too high and you're not able to meet the goal, your motivation goes down. But then when you set it lower, then your motivation goes up, and then you can keep pushing and keep building that, right? Because when you go to the gym at first, you can do as much as what versus when you go to the gym for, a couple of months, right? You can do, longer trainings, you can do more intense exercises. So same thing, you need to start somewhere. You need to be realistic with yourself.
I love it. No, that's a tremendous point, Anna. You're exactly right. It's sort of like, if you want to go to the gym even on the first day and you think that you're going to put 200 pounds on the bar, it's like, no, no. You got to start small, because otherwise you're going to like rip your muscles and you're going to be gone for a whole month or two. So 1,000%, totally agree with you.
So let me ask you one more thing. So you want to be successful, right? You want to meet your goals. But then how do you feel about support system? How important is your support system?
Oh my gosh, support system is crucial. We only know what we know at the time. And, I say that there's 3 kinds of people. This is how I sort of look at it. There's 3 kinds of people. There's those who, they just sort of look around, and this was me, I'll be honest, at a certain point, and it's like, oh, well, this is my life. Okay, well, this is as good as it gets. And so they sort of settle. And the second type of person is those who are willing to learn from their mistakes. The third type of person is those who are willing to learn from others who know, who have been there, who are going through it. And so even if we settle and we look around and we start to at least learn, be willing to learn, then when you are trying to learn, you'll automatically want to start confiding, cooperating, connecting with other people. Ultimately, I think what I've identified as success for me is when energy starts to build, there's a natural connection that I feel with people, whether no matter where they are, whether they're on this level, they're sky high compared to me. Love it. It's like, oh my gosh. So I think learning and support is essential to what success is.
So how do you find your people? So if you feel like no one supports you, right? No one believes in you. How can you find that support and belief?
Well, I think if you look inside of yourself as far as what your interests, your passions are, and again, even if it's small, even if it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to go out and walk. Okay, good. Go walk in the park. Chances are you might see some people, right? Just say hi. Just get good at, connecting, even on just a little. Well, guess what? You're going to bump into people, places, things, times, events, and those become the clues for us to then begin to move more into what those clues are.
So stay curious and pay attention.
Absolutely. Love that. For sure.
So one of the things I always tell my clients, so ABC coping skills, right? It's the foundation for mental health, for overall well-being, right? So A is accumulate positive emotions, right? Think of 5 senses, what you can see, what you can touch, hear, smell, taste, right? And think of small things, right? So for example, it feels really good when you go outside and feel sun on your skin, right? It feels really good when you smell a fresh brewed coffee. It feels really good when you hear the birds singing when the spring comes, right? And so on. So, and try to have at least one positive thing per day, right? And then remind yourself, it was a good day because I had this emotion. So you need to accumulate positivity and little joys. So B is building mastery. So you need to find something that you can excel in and that you can get better at, your passions, right? And whatever you want, is it going, I don't know, rollerblading? I used to rollerblade all the time, right? If I want to get back on rollerblading, maybe that's something I can focus on, right? I used to paint. Maybe I can look into painting. I used to bake. A lot of you used to. Like, life is so busy. But again, like think of like something that you always wanted to do or something that you used to do, right? That you can get better at. And C is cope ahead of time. When you think of the past difficult situations, instead of thinking like, I should have done that, like being harsher on yourself, right? Think of like, well, listen, whatever happened, can't change it, right? But what can I take away? What can I learn from this? And then how can I make this similar situation better in the future? So
Love
small
that.
joys, building mastery, and then coping ahead of the future situations.
I love that, Anna, because, the ABCs, for me, it got to the point where, yep, you're building up, but then you can go backwards. To me, the C became the challenges. The challenges started to mean, is this going to stop me, or can I use this to create transformation? And so all of the challenges and the coping, I started to see that there was big opportunities, and those opportunities from the challenges began to then work backwards into building the mastery. And the mastery then fed right back into, you know, the appreciation. And it was like, so yeah, I love that because I think it works both ways. And I think that's how we grow. I think we're meant to grow no matter where we start from. This is the amazing thing about nature, coming back to going for a walk in nature. Nature contains the seeds. So everything, whether it's, you know, level 1, you got an acorn. Well, there's also oak trees in that forest, right? Whether it's like a tadpole, well, there's frogs, caterpillars to butterflies. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're a caterpillar, oh my gosh, look around, pay attention, be appreciative. It's like, oh my gosh, I can grow no matter where I am. And so I love that. I totally agree.
Awesome. So we're almost at the end of our show. So if you can think back to your younger Shawn, what advice would you give yourself?
The advice for my younger self, I would say, you know, as I look back, we have an inherent inner knowing. I would say the inside world is more important than the outside world. And what I mean by that is, don't forget yourself. Enjoy everything. Enjoy the challenges. You're going to make your way through it, no matter how hard it is. You're meant to grow. You're meant to evolve. You're meant to transform. And love, if you can love every step along the way, love has infinite organizing potentials. Love every step, love every phase, the good, the bad, the ugly, the positive, the negative. It's all serving you. And if you can cultivate love and an open heart, you'll be right on track.
So love, joy, and having fun, right? Because if we don't have fun, what's the point?
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
keep having fun.
Yes.
So thank you so much for this conversation. Can you let our viewers know where they can find you, your books, your training, where they can find you?
Absolutely. So Shawn T. McIntyre is website, Instagram, Facebook, all social media, Shawn T. McIntyre. My books are on Amazon. They're on my websites, so you can just look me up and you know, even reach out to me. I'm happy to just offer any advice just to help people along the way.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sharing all your insightful information. And I hope it will help a lot of people, right? And I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us. And stay healthy, stay happy, and have fun. Because if you don't have fun, what's the point?
Love that. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate for being on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Recordings